Hey everybody, Kirk here with your personalized Sea Forager Fishmonger update. That's personalized. Anyway, I got an email recently asking about wild Atlantic salmon. You go into a market and you see wild Atlantic salmon, you just need to call bullshit on whoever is selling that. Wild Atlantic salmon stocks are not healthy enough anywhere on this planet that you should be seeing a wild Atlantic salmon fillet in a fish market in California. Okay? More likely what that is farmed Atlantic salmon that was raised in a wild Canadian river in a net pan. Okay? There are all kinds of problems with this. Problem number one, what do you feed farmed salmon? Well, in the industry, what they do is they feed them on pellets that are made out of sardine, anchovy, menhaden, herring, all the silvery schooling midwater fishes that the entire ocean is dependent on. Okay? So they send out huge seiners that catch, billions of pounds. Then they convert them into pellets. What's the conversion of wet fish into dry pellets? There's no way you're going to convince me that that's sustainable practice. There's just no way. You can try. You can email me, and we can have a civil conversation about it. But anyway, so that's problem number one. Problem number two is what do you do with the waste? If you're raising these fish in a wild river, well, there's a lot of those pellets they're not eating. They're just falling down to the bottom. And the salmon are pooping into that river in one spot over and over and over again. Any problem there? Anybody see a problem? I see problems. I see problems with everything involving farmed salmon. What happens if these wild Atlantic salmon that you're raising, what happens when they escape? Have you seen these things? I mean, like, they've been bred in captivity for so long, they're genetically malformed. They're some of them don't have faces, and yet they could potentially mate with a Chinook salmon. Like, they're not that far removed genetically that can't happen. The other thing is, if you're going to put like huge numbers of farmed salmon into a wild river, well, that wild river also has a native population of salmon. This is happening, by the way, mostly in Canada. I think entirely in Canada. Norwegian companies go in there and they're like, we're going to relieve pressure on your wild salmon, and you can raise these salmon in these rivers. It's going to be sustainable. The conversion ratio on the pellets is fine. They're not going to breed with the wild population. They tell everybody what they want to hear, but it's bullshit. Okay. Anyway, so where the hell was I? So if you're going to put thousands of salmon into a river where there's native salmon, well, in that river, there are native parasites, okay, that attach themselves to the salmon that are returning to the headwaters of whatever river that is. Well, if you put thousands of them in the middle of a river, that's a sitting duck population of salmon. Normally the parasite has to catch a ride on a salmon that's heading up river to the spawning grounds. He's not catching a ride if they're all sitting in a net pen. So the populations of parasites go through the roof in these rivers. And then when the native salmon come through to spawn, they get infested with these parasites, sometimes to the point where they can't even make it to the spawning grounds. They're so weak. Anyway, I'm just shouting. I'm down here on a beach shouting, these people down here. In any case, these are some of the issues with farmed salmon, why I think you should avoid it. You're going to get wild-caught coho salmon from the Sitka Co-op this week. Those are the guys that I trust. Their product is amazing, and it's salmon fisherman-owned co-op up in Sitka. Beyond that, that's pretty much my only salmon choice for this year. This week is usually a big salmon week. May is when we get a lot of local Chinook salmon, but it's been 3 years. It's like ancient history to me now. My feeling is that the best thing that you can do is support the sustainably caught coho and king. If I can get high quality king from Alaska down here, I will do that too. But right now, the stuff I like the most is the coho, maybe some sockeye. I'm rambling, and this is already long, so Thank you for paying attention. And if you have questions, please shoot me an email. And again, you go to a market and you see wild Atlantic salmon, just call bullshit, okay? But the poor guy working behind the counter, don't inflict it on him, whatever. Okay, Kirk out.